Before I get started, I want to apologize for the wind because it is howling. I hope this turns out alright, but if you've watched any of my videos, maybe you saw the down and dirty coyote crawl under set I use. If not, you can go back and look at that. I ain't going to talk about it a whole lot on how I done that, but this is another way I make that same set. Only in locations where you only have one or two of them and you're trying to save them from getting tore up real bad. Because a lot of times, one catch on a bunch of them and I pull it because that coyote will tear it up so bad it's hard to block them back down. And on top of that, a lot of times when you catch one coyote, it'll take a little while for another one to come through that fence right there because of all the smell. But a lot of times on a fence, you'll have several of them, so it ain't no big deal. But like on this fence here, there ain't but 2 or 3 on this whole fence. So right here is one spot I would use this system to try to save them if I can. Now it's going to be hard to see with the camera, but right there where my trap's sitting, there's a crawl under. Right through here. I don't know if you can tell it, but the dirt's kind of got a little bit of a bowl through it where they're going under it. Now a lot of times in the winter, you'll see them trails real good where they've beat that grass down. But right now, grass is coming up good. You ain't going to be able to see them as good. But where you can see that dirt's kind of like a beaver run, that's where they're going under. But all I got a drowning cable. I use 7x7, 3/32 with a drowning lock on it, just like you'd use for beaver or coon or something. You're going to drown them. But right here at the run, I use a T-bar. Let it run through my cable, shove that down in there, and you can come right back here. This one's probably about 8 foot, don't really matter. Now another location you could use these on these runs, even if you're not worried about them tearing the crawl under up, if you're worried about somebody seeing them, you can run a long drowning cable out there behind some grass, get them out of the sight. Now what I do on this end, you pull this tight as you can get it, and I drive a cable stake down. But I don't want to use my cable stake for video purposes, so I've got my T-bar. But I never use a T-bar on this end when I'm actually going to be trapping with this set, because they'll pop that T-bar out. Cable stake will hold them no problem. But video purposes, I'm going to use that T-bar. Now, on these sets, you want to use a short chain. Let me say that again. Use a short chain. And the reason why, let's say for some reason, like, well, let me just show you how this will work. Coyote's coming from this side, this way. He gets caught. He runs down this, right here. Now he's away from the fence, over here. But now let me show you what happens. Now you'll have a few of this will happen with. Most time, now if they're coming from the camera way going that way, get caught, they can't go that way. Now most of the time with a short chain, they'll turn right back around and run down it like I just showed you. But what they can do with a long chain, now this is what will happen. Let me get this trap over here. Say this trap is hooked up on the drowning cable. Now this trap's got about 3 foot of chain on it. If he comes from this way and goes under that fence, he gets under there, hits into that chain, ow, cut my arm on the barbed wire, runs through the fence like that. And then he's going to tear the fence up. He's going to hurt himself on the barbs. You do not want that. Or say he don't run through it, but he's bouncing around right here. What's he gonna do? He jumps high as he can and he falls through barbed wire like that. You do not want that to happen, because then if you're on somebody else's land, it tears their fence up, they're gonna be pissed off at you, and you might lose your coyote, and on top of that, that barbed wire is gonna cut holes in him. You don't want that. But now with the short chain, see, now that trap will go to right under the fence. Now, once in a while, I'll tell you, you'll have one here and there. He'll get his body through the fence. That ain't as bad though if he gets that long chain wrapped up on the fence. I mean, it still ain't good, don't get me wrong. But with a short chain, you're less likely to have problems right here, especially run that short chain. It won't get wrapped around that most of the time like that long chain. Use a long chain on this system, you're asking for problems. Run this short chain like that right there. And when you get it, run that slider as far as you can on down that cable so that that trap's already far back as it can with it being where you need it. Now I've just took my little hammer I dig my trap beds with. I kind of dug a little trap bed out. Now just throw you a little bit of dirt, get that trap halfway solid. Now wintertime you got more grass because it's been growing. Gets a lot taller through the summer, so you ain't got. But you can just take the grass that's laying around, throw on top of that dude. That set is done. Offset it to one side. Now if you want to see that more how I do that, go through my videos and find the down and dirty one, and I show that a little bit better. But now that coyote go through this crawl under, steps on it, runs down the slide wire just like that, and you'll save your crawl unders that way. See, right here, that coyote cannot get that chain up in that wire. Once in a great while, if you don't have it set up just right, he will with a short chain still. But I'm going to show you again. This long chain, got it hooked up. Now this is a pretty long chain. It's about 2.5, 3 foot long, and it comes up about chest high. That coyote can jump pretty high. He gets through that daggum wire. He wraps that thing up and through like that. He's sitting there fighting. He's gonna go to ripping barbed wire loose, cutting himself. Don't want that. So I hope this set here can help some guys save our crawl unders and maybe even get their catch off site. Nothing is 100% when it comes to trapping. Now this set, we're going to have to use a little bit of imagination, because I use this set here on gopher mounds, and I ain't got no gopher mounds right here. I know where some are, but I can't get to them. We've had so much rain, I can't get to them. I'll get stuck. So we're just gonna have to use your imagination a little and kind of see how I'm doing this. But I got a little bit of a dirt bank right here. Now imagine this is a gopher mound. This dirt right here is your gopher mound. All right. Now, right here, that little hole you see, that's a shotgun shell. Now I don't normally use the shotgun shells. What you want to do is get you some bamboo. You know, bamboo's hollow in little sections and it'll be solid. And then hollow, solid. I get them little deals of bamboo and cut them about 3 inches long. About long as that shotgun shell. I didn't have none, so I'm going to use a shotgun shell for demonstration. But you take that bamboo and shove it in your gopher mound, just where that little hole shows. kind of like so. Shove it in there, flush that gopher mound. Now, you could probably use the shotgun shell. That'd probably work. The reason I like the bamboo, though, is, you know, bamboo's wood. I'll pour a liquid lure in there, and that wood will soak that lure up, and it will hold that much longer. You won't have to re-lure nothing for a lot longer than what you would. I don't know for sure because I ain't used a shotgun shell, but that wood soaking that lure up, I think, will hold it better than what that plastic shotgun shell will. But shove that in the ground, put your lure in it. Now, this set don't work very good off away from travel way. You've got to be right on where the coyotes are going to be traveling, within a few feet, because there is hardly no eye appeal here. It's, well, that bamboo's probably a 1/4 inch round, so that's how small your hole is, and all it's really indicating is just where that gopher's made a hole in that mound is what I'm thinking it. You can't think of the word, but that's what it's. I think they think when they see it. Now I know these coyotes run up and down this barbed wire fence and they'll cut through on these crawl unders. You can use this on side of the road if you got a gopher mound or bank like this. I like it a lot better than gopher mounds though. I don't use this set very often, but when I have a gopher mound by their travel way, this is what I use some. But you get that in there, put your lure, and come back about 12 inches. Now I've got my trap in a bed about 12 inches from the gopher mound and my bamboo or shotgun shell. Now a lot of times your gopher mound, you know, will be with grass around it. So a lot of times your trap ain't going to be just in dirt like it is right here. You'll have grass around here too, and you can blend it in real good. So now like right here though, you just go ahead, I ain't got my sifter, but just go ahead and cover that like you always would and try to blend it in the best you can. Don't just have a sifted pattern. Take some of these little chunks. Once you get your dirt sifted over it, these little chunks, they ain't going to detour a coyote. They're all over. Throw chunks all over your deal. Make it look just like the ground out here. Now, if this was a true gopher mound and we had grass around us, we'd take grass and blend it in real good. Now, you don't want to do that right here though, because it would stand out. But if you are in grass, put grass over it. Don't just have your dirt pattern. That'll scare them off. You'll catch some, but take your grass and blend it in better. Sorry I can't show you that, but I don't want to take a chance of getting stuck getting to them gopher mounds. But I hope that gives y'all a good idea on how I make that set. I know it ain't just a real good demonstration, but I just got to do what I got to work with here. But I hope y'all get the idea. This flat set here is another one. It's hard to recreate, but when you find it, set it. When you find a good pile of cow crap that's dry, where you think the coyotes are going to be traveling, that's how I set them up. Now say you can't recreate this, and the reason being is when a cow takes a dump, that cow crap, you know, it's wet, it splatters all down in the grass. Well, as that dries, it dries around the grass. So when you try to flip that pile of cow crap up, it normally will pull grass and everything up with it. So it makes it real hard for coyotes to move it. They gotta dig at it to get to your bait. Now I know some guys are going to think, well, I just go around picking up cow patties and place them where I want them. Don't work very good, because then your cow patty ain't dried into the grass and makes it hard to move. They can just move it out of the way with their nose in. You're defeating the purpose of having to make them work for it. But when I have this, come back about 12, 14 inches, cable stake my trap down in my bed, bed your trap, come back in. Now my trap just disappeared. You can't tell where that trap is. That's perfect. That's how you want your blind sets. That's just like if that was a gopher mount on that last set I showed you. Around that grass like I was talking, that's the way you want it to look. You do not want to be able to tell where that trap is. Next thing I do is I take my T-bar and I just stick it under that cow patty and barely pull that patty up. Do not raise the whole thing up, because what you're going to do then, like I was saying, you'll rip it loose from the grass and they can move it ever how they want. Now I can't show you how, well, maybe. Pick that up with your T-bar, and we're going to say the stick's got bait on it. Put it right up under there. Lay your cow patty back down. Bait lower under there, or just bait. That don't matter what you want to use on it. Now, that is natural as you can get, and that smell will come out of there. And since you didn't hardly move that pile of cow crap, it's still dried into the grass. When they smell that and come to work it, they can't just take their nose and scoop that pile of cow crap over. They're going to have to dig at it, and they're going to have to work at it. So that means they're going to spend more time at your set. And you have a lot better chance of catching them with them having to dig at it and work for it. That set works really good, but you don't always come across the chance to use it, because you can't control where a cow takes a crap. But if you see this opportunity on your line, try it out, and I think you'll like it and have good luck with it. Alright guys, now this set, use a little bit of common sense with it if you're around cows. Now this pasture right here, I know there ain't cows in here. They're over here in this patch. Now, with this set, if there's going to be cows in there, because this is a cow trail, coyotes is going to run it too. If there are cows in that pasture, or you know there's going to be, talk with the farmer. Make sure the cows ain't going to be in there for so many days, and if they are, go ahead and use a trap like I'm going to tell you. When you set these up, if there's going to be cows, do not use a square-jawed trap. I love square jaws. That is my trap of choice. I love them. But when it comes to this, if I know there's cows in here, I will not use a square-jawed trap. Some guys ain't going to believe this. Some guys that are going to say, well, people say it won't happen. I'm telling you, it will happen with a square-jawed trap. You'll catch and hold calves. Now, a lot of guys around here, they understand it ain't that big of a deal. But you still look better in the public's eye when you don't catch people's calves. Because I'm telling you, number 3 square jaw will hold a calf up to about 400 pounds. I've done it. Luckily, it was our calves and not somebody else's. It didn't hurt the calf at all. He was fine. But if a farmer, he don't know much about trapping, and he pulls out there and he sees his calf caught, he ain't going to like it. He's going to ask you to pick your stuff up and leave. If you can avoid it, like I'm fixing to say, it'll just make matters better. I ain't going to say it won't happen. But if you'll use a round jaw trap on these trails where cows are, I'm going to say 95% of the time you will not have to worry about catching and holding a calf with a round jaw trap. The reason why is a round jaw will get them down here on the hoof, about where my knuckles are, and it'll slide right off 90% of the time. Square jaw trap though, it'll get them up higher, like on my wrist, and that's above the hawk, or not. Is it hawk or duck? I can't remember what. I think hawk's what that's called. But it'll get them up there, and it's above the hoof, and it digs in right there, and they can't pull out of it most of the time. Now, if there ain't gonna be cows in there, use the square jaws, have fun. But just for everybody's sake, if there's cows, calves in there, use a round jaw trap. Now I got done with that little spiel. As you can see, this cow trail right here is pretty open. There ain't a lot of grass around it, but if you walk up this cow trail just a few feet, you get quite a bit of grass covering it. Now, you can put that set right here, but it's going to be a lot harder to blend it in with that short grass and just dirt. When you walk 10, 15 more foot where there's grass overlapping over the trail. Now, I've already got my trap in the bed right here. It's offset to one side of the trail. And now, what you can do is come in here and throw you some grass over it. Now, you stand back and look. It looks pretty natural. That set there will produce coyotes for you if they're running them trails. You can put that set in and dadgum a minute and a half. It don't take long to put in. You can put a lot of them in up and down through here. But just please, if you use this set around calves, don't use square jaw trap if you can keep from it. I mean, the odds are slim of catching and holding them. But I've caught and held several in my time. And I've always been lucky, except for one time, they've always been ours. At one time, it was my cousin's. He understood the calf wasn't going to be hurt. But you don't always know what that farmer's going to think about that stuff. I mean, these calves are a livelihood. If he don't know much about trapping, he's going to get mad thinking his calf's hurt. But them round jaw traps, that's what I use on these when I'm going to be around calves. I know I talked about that a bunch, but I take that very seriously. Because I do what I can to keep my landowners happy. I do not want them thinking any less of me or thinking I don't care about their livelihood. That's just me. Try to take care of everybody. And I hope everybody does when they get permission to places. I know I'm talking a lot about that, but that's very important. But if you use that set, I think you'll like it and you'll have tremendous success with it.